Hello people, I decided to make a little bit of an freeform rant video about the new Sidekick system, or more specifically the achievements. So basically how this started was that, I don't know, very few of you might know that I just recently finished leveling up the B team to level 200. Then I started thinking that what would be a fun new project for the team, for me to complete like an ornament to acquire or something like that, which led me to find this new one. Which you get for doing some sort of sidekick stuff. And I was like, okay, this looks fun enough. Maybe it's not too hard to get. So I started looking into it, what you need to do. So I found this little sidekicks achievement segment where I was like, okay, yeah, this looks doable. Basically, you just need to have a sidekick on when you go to do a dungeon. And yeah, you basically have to do a lot of dungeons. But then I started to look at these achievements here. And the more I looked into them, the more annoyed I got. First of all, I think the names here are actually just a scam. More specifically, because this one here says sidekicks for sale. This one says crafty sidekicks, chatty sidekicks, implying that you have to do some questing or like crafting to get the achievement. And yeah, fair, you have to do that. But these categories don't differ at all. You still need to effectively buy the sidekick from an NPC, no matter which category it is here. I was like, okay, yeah, sure. I don't mind that the game has like some hard to acquire rare sidekicks. That sounds cool for people to grind. And I do understand that this is a little bit of a unique problem for me because I'm talking about multiple accounts. And when you do each of these on one account, it's not too bad, right? But I just want to go through a little bit what these actually just require. Each of these categories would probably have like an easy one, right? Oh, this is, by the way, the crafting section, not on the buying section. Okay, so let's see. You need to craft the 200 contraband flour. Okay, what does it require? One of them requires 50 barley, 50 oats, 50 hops, 50 linen, 50 rye, tempera powder. 10,000 of each of these, and then only 1,000 tempera powder. Okay, what my problem here is that like the numbers are in the same sense too low for you not to buy them for one account. Like it makes pretty much more sense to just buy these things than to actually go and do the farming. In reverse, it's also too big of a grind for farming for when you do multiple accounts. In either way you're doing, like it's more productive to just buy the things from people who have like farmed for some other reasons. I don't like this personally, but maybe some people like it. And where we arrived to the real problem here, I started to think more and more about the sidekicks and like their purpose in the game. As you might know, they turned a lot of incarnation into sidekicks, which I've been saying to many people, you're turning dead content into another form of dead content, which in its own not that productive, to be completely honest. Like incarnations weren't really used before, and sidekicks weren't really used either. Again, I'm probably not talking to everybody here, but I was just starting to think like, who are sidekicks for? Okay, maybe lower level people who like maybe play a little bit solo, like you're in Iluezel. Newer people perhaps who might require the aid. Then I started thinking, okay, but how do you get this? Okay, you either buy them, which like fair MMOs, you buy things through the like the shop. All of these other ones, many of these things, first of all, like these are very hard to find in game in general. Like how to get these. It's like not really communicated in game that well. You have to go like to an external website, which like maybe not something the new player might do, probably not. And like all of these, what you need to bring them are like, first of all, I just go back to the farmer one, because like you need to collect 10,000 of each of these, which like you're a starting player, and to get this character maybe to help you out, because this is the easiest one of this category to get this achievement. What I'm trying to get here to is like, this grind for a new player just isn't productive. It's way too much work for what it actually brings you. These are, in my opinion, mostly just for collection. They aren't really that beneficial. I know that nowadays you can use them for solo quest fights. Some quest fights were just like undoable with some classes, and you had to use like a certain incarnation and like invest money into that. That was already quite annoying in itself. Don't really think the quest fights, solo quest, that's actually another whole other thing that I could complain about. I'm not really going into there, but like something about these things that really like piss me off. Like I really don't know what they are for. Like and why did they make them so annoying? Like all of them. Why did they make all of them so annoying to get? Like the ones that I could actually see myself getting is like maybe farming these, like this one. This one I can see myself farming. I really don't know what this content is for. Like if you like this, and you're really into this, like, good for you. I'm not really like trying to take that fun out of you. But for me, this just kind of pisses me off because I just really don't understand what they were going for. Don't think that the grinds are really something that the game should encourage you to do, because it's like not really an effective use of your time. At like, no matter what stage you're at the game, doing these grinds are not like worth it. You should just use your time making money and then maybe buy these things, and just like, and that's just lame to me. Like, why have these things if it's just more worth it to just buy it? I don't know. And then another thing, if you're a person who has like done farming on like Ilyesel or a mono account server that is like a more busy one, you already know where I'm going here with the rye, because let's just look for all the rye on the game. Oh, by the way, if you didn't know about this site, it's pretty neat. There's not a whole lot of it, in the sense that this is supposed to be kind of like the easiest one to get-ish in this category. Maybe the only person who would really need this is like a starting player, or who doesn't maybe have that many connections yet in the game, like friends or reliable aid or something like that, which in my mind is kind of like the only people who actually like kind of need these sidekicks. And like, getting 10,000 rye is just not a productive use of your time. I know I keep repeating myself, but like, anybody who's done any farming, they know going for this rye grind is not even a fun time, like even slightly, because you constantly have to keep competing with others who are trying to farm the same thing. And yeah, it's just not worth it, in my opinion. Maybe for some people it is. Maybe I'm completely wrong here, but like, just saying. And then if you just look at the other Sidekick achievements again, you start to realize that they're just basically trio achievements. Let's be real here, because these require you to be a characters of 4 minimum, including at least 1 sidekick. I guess they just added trio achievements for every dungeon. I don't know, this is kind of lame. There's just nothing really interesting here, in my opinion. These sidekicks piss me off. Yeah, thank you for listening, and yeah, bye.